level morning class. So that is, here is some windows coming in and I cannot remove that. Oh, good. Sorry for that. Yeah, so into advanced level class, we have a very broad topic, not only the plant, but we start to study the flora and fauna and all the relationship between them. So it's become really a wonderful project, and everybody is doing their own independent project through that. And Monday we have in-person class, but this one is now temporarily suspended, and I will announce it when the situation gets better and we reopen it. And then this one now is some special exhibitions we are planning now, right now in 2025. So it's a long-term project. And just because we are broadening our subject, and this will be such a wonderful educational opportunity with the paintings and so on to show all that natural element and pollinators and so on. So we will show the bees, who feed them, why we need them, and also why we do caterpillar. So all of these broader topic will be there. So when we have more planned, like fixed, then we will announce this. And now that one is now, you're seeing me Zoom ready, but my dog got bored and he chose my tools. So I think everybody experienced something like this at home behind the Zoom scene. And now I'll talk about briefly about how the class work. And each class registrant will receive PDF. It shows very detailed progress pictures, and I will show the video demos. And the class is interactive and full of discussion. And after the class, the Zoom will be recorded, and everybody will have the link and for review. Then I make extra effort to collect the high resolution videos, and I put it up on my website so you can view that for a while. Yeah, so everybody will get constructive and encouraging feedback. So I have been receiving the best feedback ever through the Zoom classes. You will have a little booklet after each workshop. So if you're interested in, and you can check that out on my website, there are a lot of programs coming up. And this shows the 20 artists who are participating this time. And look how happy everybody is. And now I will show, just because we have two exhibitions going on, one in physical, one at the gallery at Brushwood Center, and one is at Brushwood at brushwoodcenter.org. So this is a scene that you drive into the Rice Node and going through there, and you see the Brushwood Center, beautiful, situated in the pristine woodland. And now we don't have that though. Then oftentimes, almost all the time when the weather is good, we have these beautiful skies and tall trees. And this is now winter time. So winter is such a beautiful time too in the woods. So you can come and walk around, and then also you can take a look at the exhibition too. So the inside, that's now our current banner. And inside room like this, so go and look at the real painting, original paintings at Brushwood Center. And we're opening 3 days, Monday, Wednesday, and Sunday. So check out the time before you go at brushwoodcenter.org. Okay, so now this is the website. I will walk through you by going to the website, and I have to change the share mode here. new share. Now, are you seeing the screen? Julia?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So this is the website right now, and you can scroll up and there are description. Here is the poem. And Ramiro, I will put up the screen later and you will read your poem for us later, not now, okay? Because that's better with your beautiful artwork next to it, and I'll do that. And now here, when you go down, yeah, there are screen shows 3 of each artist. And then here the participating artist name. And this is the best part. Everybody has, it's on the unique website, mini website page inside of the website. So you go through and everybody's work here, and you can look at the images there better. Okay, so I'll just show how it looked like by clicking mine. So there is the short bios. And if they have a website, we have a link here directly. And then when you're clicking here, there are details underneath, and if anyone can buy this, buy them directly here too. So that's how it looked like. Okay, so now I will go. So don't forget to go back here and look through everybody's work. And now I will stop this sharing and go back to the keynote. I will go back here first, put that down, and keynote up first. Uh-oh, that's not right. I think I have to go back one more time. Gotta put the keynote back. Stop sharing and make sure the keynote is up now. Okay. So a lot of clicking there. Are you seeing now? Yeah. Okay, good. Now we have Ramiro. Ramiro.
I'm here.
Yeah, we are so special. He writes the poem for us every year. So please, Ramiro.
It's called The Seventh. And it says, we, pilgrims together, have 7 years completed encircling the sun. The teacher is nature. In images she speaks. We whisper its soul. That's it.
Thank you so much. Isn't that so beautiful? I just feel so special when I receive
Very
this.
nice.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ramiro. You're such a poet. Thank you. Look at these beautiful paintings too. I mean, he is truly a multi-talented person. So we will see more work from him. And now I will go through, it's 7:16. I'll go through individuals' page and shortly introduce. And when the artists will talk, I will let them talk by themselves. Otherwise, I will just quickly go through and say a few words about the artist and the work. And this is me. And I paint native plants in woodland and prairie, and oftentimes add animals and little insects, which are very important for the survival and for everybody, not only the plant, for us too. So that's hummingbird moth on Monarda in watercolor. Oftentimes I add birds, and in this painting, it shows the baby birds at the bottom area need that little caterpillar. So I wanted to show that. And that's eating fruit, bluebird, and group of spring woodland plant, and another woodland plant in habitat. The center is trout lily, and on both sides, spring beauty and hepatica in habitat. And that's a babbitt blended from Canada. She has good amount of watercolor experience, but when she first came to my program, she was wondering if she could paint these complex grapes, but look at this. Isn't that beautiful? Shines and complex blending of watercolors, beautifully done, Babbitt. And ink with watercolor wash and ink line drawing, the detail of the grass and autumn clematis. And Ellie will talk. Ellie, can you please unmute?
Yeah, hi, I'm Ellie Brown. I'm from Maryland, and I always have been interested in botanic art and watercolor. And because of COVID, I didn't have any place to learn this. And I met Heeyoung just online, and she has taught me so much, and it has been such a wonderful class. So I thank you, Heeyoung, for enriching my life.
Oh, thank you so much, Ellie. And Ellie has been painting plants from...
that's muting us. Oh, no. Okay, so I didn't mute her. So...
Someone should mute, please. Yeah, so this is the painting of her. This is the beauty of a Zoom. So she is painting a lot of things from her yard, and now she's branching out even more further to document the whole ecosystem from her backyard around the oak trees and even the neighbor's yard, right? Okay, so now we have here Larinda. And Larinda has been studying not too long, but her watercolor techniques has been improving so fast. So this is, as you see here, the paper even have scratch like that because this was just a small practice piece. But the painting is just like perfect. A small early stage of spring flower trillium in watercolor, and the intense violet color of Viola sororia, and the wonderful layers of wing, almost like origami, like wing textures she developed in this monarch. And that one is small study. Look at the first one, how crisp, clean she painted that complex pattern in the sheath. Beautiful. And Joann Dinneen, Joann has been very busy during the COVID time with a lot of things. And she's been painting and documenting native plants from her garden. And also she's advocating native plant landscaping by using her artwork. And that's another one. That's a very beautiful composition of milkwood seed pod and baptisia leaf crossing in watercolor. And that's a iris, blue iris, native. And the detail on the flower petals are so beautifully done. And this one especially is challenging subject to paint. I painted this several times, and I find that's one of the most difficult subject to paint or draw. And it's orange milkweed tuberosa. And look at the whimsical caterpillars crossing over. So it connected the butterfly and the big bunch of dark color flowers there. So it shows from the beginning stage to the later stage of the flowers. And Marcia Glenn. Marcia, are you gonna talk? No, right? I still wish that you talk, just asking. So Marcia is painting and documenting the plant from her yard too. And we did this scientific illustration style in watercolor and showing all the seed development stage and dissections and beautiful and very intricate inside the structure of the flowers. That was really challenging project, and she composed that beautifully. And that's a winter bit with a simple color. And that one particularly, I really like it. It has 3 different fall prairie plant, grass and goldenrod and aster, and all of them are very difficult subject to paint. There are many layers going around, or like all over, and something coming forward, something stay behind. So that was really challenging and very, very time consuming too. So I can't wait to see this finish it. That one also is, and when this is done, this will be a striking piece with intense color flowers developed, the echinacea. And another study, see how much we love all these woodland native plant. Check it out. Everybody love this. It's pretty difficult plant to deal with. A lot of similar patterns like going on, but not particularly pretty colors are there. So that actually requires some more advanced technique in layering and describing the patterns and so on. So that was challenging, but we all enjoyed that progress. And Edith will talk. Edith? Edith?
Yes.
Yeah. Hi. Hello? Uh-oh. I don't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now
Yeah.
we.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm Edith Harte. I live on Cape Cod now. I was fortunate to meet Heeyoung when I took courses at the Botanic Garden, and later I joined her workshop at the Brushwood Center. She not only inspired me to take up watercolor, but to look more carefully at the world around me. Well, within a year, our family moved to Cape Cod, so no more workshops. But I spent the next year exploring the forests and salt marshes of Cape Cod. And then one day I opened a random email from the Brushwood Center and found that Heeyoung was giving courses online because of the pandemic. And I immediately signed up and have been there ever since. And I just wanted to say that these aren't any ordinary courses. These are much more wide-ranging, on both artistically and, in this encouraging the study of all the intricacies of the environment. And these are some of the things that I found on Cape Cod when I was in the woods. These are the things found in the woods. And I think the next one is the plants found on the salt marsh in the fall. This is the forest. And so anyway, it's been a great pleasure to join this watercolor group.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And they're beautiful. She's so good at drawing and painting anything, like a bird, a little rodent. Yeah, so seeing how Edith developed all this painting was a great pleasure. I really love it. Thank you so much, Edith.
Thank
and
you.
this is Nancy Johnson. Nancy from Texas. So she's been busy and also very multi-talented artist. So she does a lot of other things. Sometimes still full-time working, but sometimes she paints landscape, seascape, cows, rabbits. And now she's expanding toward the botanicals. And this is one of her first botanical paintings, grapes, beautifully done. And she loves the ink too. So ink line drawings and another line drawing of Daisy. And that was pretty intricate and complex class for beginner course drawing. It was Phalaenopsis orchid drawing with a complex composition class. So beautifully done, Nancy. And now here we have Sandy. Sandy is from Wisconsin, and she's been painting and documenting native plants too. So here when you see that horse chestnut native trees with fruit. And she has been developing actually a whole florilegium of native plant in Kishiwakito Nature Preserve in Wisconsin. And they made educational materials like pamphlet and card, and then helped educate people about the conservation through that program. So that has been really wonderful. And some of our members are actually in that group, like Kathy, Joann, Susie has been contributing the work for that one too. So this is how our botanical artists are contributing for the whole other things, the environmental issues, and yeah, a lot of things. So thank you so much, Sandy. And that's another orange color milkweed and the echinacea. All this one is watercolor. And here we don't have Meredith today. And Meredith is also from Wisconsin. And she also paints all the native plants that she has in the backyard. Also keep planting native plants too, and study them. And as you see here, inside of the picture of herself, there is Michigan lily, one of the 3 native lily in Midwest. So she painted that beautifully. And another one here on the right side, and that's a columbine. It's very complex flowers, and she composed that almost like a Ferdinand Bauer style illustration, so showing the scientific fact of the flower inside structures. And as you see here, that flower has very long spur, and that needs specialized pollinators, because that somebody need to have long enough tongues to get in at the bottom of the spur. So when you see there's a hummingbird. And this is why showing these pollinators and other insect is such an important theme for us. And that's a group of spring flowers. And another summer prairie rudbeckia, the bee is sitting there, all in watercolor. And Cynthia, are you ready?
Hi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, I met Heeyoung also at the Chicago Botanic Garden, and then was able to join some of her classes at the Brushwood Center. And then I immediately moved to Florida, where everything is different. And anyway, in order to get familiar with the Florida flora and fauna, I took a Master Gardener's class through the University Extension and became a Master Gardener volunteer. And so now I'm using the opportunities to learn about these beautiful creatures that, that we share the planet with, and that make it possible for us to live here, and illustrate them for kids and for posters and for publications from the University Extension in Hillsborough County, where I live. I just think it's I just want to say thank you to Heeyoung for her patience and her guidance. And it's been a real wonderful experience for me to be able to do this. I always thought that you were an artist or you weren't. You had the skill and the talent or you didn't. And I was one of those people who didn't. But I've discovered that it's really just actually a lot of work, even though it's extremely pleasurable. You just have to keep doing it, and you will get better. So that's been encouraging for me. I'm blown away by everyone else's work. It's all gorgeous. I just have a few pieces here, but yeah, it's been great, and I'm never going to quit. So it's
good. That's good to hear. Okay.
20 more years. I just need 20 more years.
Okay, good. Ever learning. Yeah, so here it shows Cynthia's painting, and when I invited her, all the paintings are already framed. So
these are hanging at the extension now. I had to get them framed.
That's wonderful. That's an example of what we can do, right? Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And now we have Jean. Jean.
Hello.
Hello.
So I also started out with Heeyoung at the Botanic Garden in pen and ink. And I was lucky enough to have the opportunity to be with Derek Norman too, who Heeyoung knows very well and is great friends with. And then I discovered that Heeyoung does these classes at Brushwood. So as soon as I retired, the first Monday after that, I started going to Brushwood and have been there ever since. And in my development, Heeyoung pushed me screaming and hollering into watercolor because I wanted to stay just with pen and ink and pencil. And so the net result is my love of berries and multimedia. This has pen and ink and graphite and watercolor on it. And it's just joyful for me to do it. I like the small objects because I can concentrate. And then I've discovered that I do veer away from color. Although that being said, I've been playing with pomegranates, and I did 2 different versions of pomegranates. One, again, multimedia on the left. And then this year I just started messing with the reds, as Heeyoung said, just keep mixing and looking and building. And so the net result was the one on the right. But it's been a very fruitful and joyful journey for me. And I agree with Cynthia. You can't give up, but boy, do you have to work at it to get better. So thank you, Heeyoung.
Thank you for being so patient with me too. Isn't that great? This was so beautiful. When you look through this one, she's actually the queen of berries. The shines are so perfect. So this one was layered with the watercolor and the pencil. So it's just a beautiful effect it created. Thank you so much for sharing your story, Jean. And now here we have Ramiro. Ramiro, please. Ramiro?
I'm here.
Yeah, good.
I'm here. I'm just delighted to be here. It's wonderful. The occasion, the paintings, I'm learning quite a bit. And thank you for everybody to join us in this 7th celebration. I am an exception. I'm the only man in this group of beauties. And I'm the only one who paints exclusively with colored pencil. I passed through the watercolor and the ink and the this and the that, but I stuck to watercolor. I'm sorry, to colored pencils. I said in the poem that the nature is the teacher and teaches us in images. and whisper, we whisper what we interpret of what nature gives us. And I don't know if you want me to tell you my interpretation of this or another leaf, or just want me to
yeah, you can talk and I will move on. Yeah, move on with the
Of course, this is a ginkgo. Everybody loves ginkgo. It's a very special leaf, but I'll go through very quickly. Just show us the next one. This one is very special. I was about to throw this in the garbage. Out of 10 leaves, I throw 7 or 8 or 10. But this one stopped me when on its way to the garbage can. It told me something. It whispered something. The message was tremendous. She was battered. And at the end, I even discovered that there was a large fracture at the base of the leaf. The colors are red, intense, almost dark black. And then at the very base of the leaf, something is happening. It is just like a little drummer boy that is mounting a cannon and with his drum saying, it is not a defeat, it is a victory. And you can see that the leaf is split in half, showing a wonderful V. This is my victory leaf. Thank you.
Oh, that's a wonderful story about that. How wonderful. Someone need to mute. Someone is making a lot of noise. When you hear some noises, quickly look at the screen. And if that's you, please mute yourself. Thank you. And here he has more pictures. So I will move this one. Every piece has this drama in its own, and just the play of light and shadow, the forms are such an excellent pieces everywhere. Thank you so much. And also, he, as you see here, he has numbered with the number. This is a leaf number 32, 35, things like that. So she has many paintings now, and he's preparing for publishing a book with his poem with this beautiful painting. So wait for that. We are all waiting for that, Ramiro. Thank you.
Thank you.
And here's Rita, and Rita has been painting different style, but since she started a little bit of botanicals, you see the free movement of that, and she doesn't have any fear in just putting color in the paper. So she always quickly develop beautiful, flowing, natural looking group of plants like this. It's so beautifully done. It has also the root. And as you know, root is the important part of the echinacea as medicinal and herbal plant. So it was so good to see that included. And the pear she did, and the fern. This is such a whimsical bud. When you look at it, there is a symmetry and asymmetry in the composition. And the bottom part details are so beautiful. And that one is almost like pattern, like paintings of Esther. Yeah, I really love the design of this one too. It's all in watercolor. And yeah, thank you so much, Rita. And that's Linda. Linda will talk. Linda.
Hi.
Yeah, hi.
I'm Linda Schmitt, and behind me is the family farm in Southwest Michigan. And 3 years ago, we took 30 acres of it and returned it to native plants, pollinator plants, and grasses. And Heeyoung is helping me document the plants in the prairie. And besides the plants, there's birds, butterflies, bugs, and bees. So there's plenty of work to do there.
Yeah, so she is such a wonderful painter. In the beginning, she has different style, but now she's incorporating this botanical, more detailed style to develop all these beautiful paintings. And this will be an amazing collection of the restoration work there. So I'm so excited with this. And this is pretty rare violet with a fritillary, and fritillary lives on violet, so we need them. And that's Rudbeckia plus swallowtail as a group of bloodroot. Thank you. And Jane.
Hi, I'm Jane Sturgeon from Illinois. I've been with Heeyoung for a number of years in her Monday class. Had the pleasure of sitting next to Ramiro for many years and other Monday students. And it's really hard to be away from everybody personally, but the Zoom classes have been inspirational in that we've been able to actually see more of how Heeyoung paints instead of hanging over her like bats, trying to watch her paint. So the Zoom has helped us all see close detail of her work, and also inspiration to us to do better and get more documentation. So for this first one here, this is a, excuse me, a parrot tulip. And I painted it because the exotic colors of the parrot tulip are so intriguing. And also the leaves are very unusual for a tulip because they have this little projectile off of the little leaves that you can see. So we did that as an experiment. It was rather difficult too for me because to get all those different colors and not have them bleed into each other was a real good lesson in learning how not to do that and try and create, you know, a mix of colors to have them vibrate next to each other. So thank you, Heeyoung, for helping me struggle through that artwork.
And you're so good at ink too, so she couldn't help adding ink at the bottom.
That's right. I had to have the ink in there too. Yes.
Yeah, you should ink it. Yeah, and this, how beautiful that is.
The rose hips. Yeah, again, you know, it's interesting how art, you know, you can be inspired to paint something, but sometimes things happen by accident. You know, like you're doing an exercise, like this particular one was an exercise in a class of just trying to get the roundness of a berry. This is a rose hip. And so trying to create that. And sometimes, as Heeyoung has said to me many times, you know, your practice sheet can become your artwork. And so do your best on your practice because it might be that piece that you end up framing. And this was one of those where I was just practicing trying to create the round berry, which Jean does so beautifully. And, you know, finally it was just like, oh, well, let's just keep adding to it. So yeah, it's kind of fun how your inspiration comes from many different places, especially when you're doing exercises or practice sheets. So
good, that's wonderful. Isn't that pretty? Right. So I always scold people not to add those color swatches right next to your exercise painting because that would be always that's wonderful one. Yeah.
Now this one was another one that was an exercise. Heeyoung was starting to teach us how to do eyes of a bird and of other mammals, which normally for years I've never done. It's always been some kind of a botanical. And so I spent the entire class time just doing the one eye of this hummingbird, and Heeyoung looked at it and she said, well, why don't you paint the rest of the bird? This was never going to be anything more than an eyeball. But it turned out that I kind of went backwards on this. It started with the bird's eye, then the bird, and then we put the crabapple blossoms that were in my front yard.
Yeah, that was wonderful. That's so good. Now I think we can move on a little bit because of the time. Thank you so much. This is such a beautiful painting.
Thank you.
And now that's wonderful piece of pumpkin. And this is such a powerful painting of the peony. Yeah, well done, Jane.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, again, this was something to learn how to create you know, a painting around a very pale flower, which isn't easy to do. So that's why all the other colored peonies are around it.
Yeah.
I ended up painting, I think, 5 more yellow peonies as a good practice.
Oh, right. For every kid.
Every one of my
That
children.
was wonderful. I remember that. Thank you so much, Jane. And now Kathy Walsh, she is not here today. I didn't see she coming in the beginning. And this one, Kathy is also from Wisconsin. And this project was done through the Tuesday winter beat class. And I always say, botanical gardens are like a squirrel, little squirrel. We collect everything at the end of the season and grab those little things at the end of the fall, in the beginning of the winter, and we compose this in a style like Ernst Haeckel. So one time we did everything kind of the similar composition like this, but everybody ended up with a very unique piece. And this one was particularly well composed with the color balance up and down and on both sides, and green and top and bottom. So that was wonderfully done. And this one was very unique color, pale greenish color sunflower. And as a sunflower, that color was unique, so she painted. And the inside disc area was such a complex. And she said, I cannot do this. So I said, you should do lighter color first. And then, so she would do, voila, that was just there. And it's so beautifully done. And that feather, again, such a beautiful composition, and play with this line and curve and negative space and the airiness of the hair feather. So wonderful in the watercolor. And Mary Janet, hi. Mary Janet? I see her.
Now I'm there. Now I'm here.
Yeah, good.
I too first met Heeyoung at the Chicago Botanic Gardens and followed her to Brushwood. Where I've learned a lot and had a lot of fun. It's a wonderful, wonderful experience. I paint year-round, and I paint things that I find on my walks and hikes in around Madison, along the lake. This is a pen and ink drawing that I did. Heeyoung had some ink that was made in Iowa by a woman, and she brought it to class, and I thought it would be a beautiful way to draw to draw this branch. I can't decide whether I liked painting summer better or winter better. It's fun in the winter to see what plants are out and about still. There is always something every season of the year. So
yeah, good. This is beautiful walnut witch hazel. Thank you so much, Mary Janet. And let's look at a few more. And I have to rush a little bit now. Thank you, Mary Janet. And we have only 10 minutes.
This one I painted for my husband because he loves iris. And so usually I'm painting wildflowers. And I did this one for him. Yeah. And it turned out, I actually love the way it turned out. The water took over and did its thing for me.
Thank you. Wonderful story. Thank you so much, Mary Janet. Thank you. And now we can move that quickly. And now, Susie, are you there?
Yes. Hi. Hi.
Hi.
Okay, this rose is one of a series of 3 that I painted during this COVID time. I bought a rose bush in the spring and nursed it through the winter, and all of these are from the same dear rose bush. My orchid paintings. Oh, this is a passion flower, a gift from a lovely friend. It's a beautiful vine-like flower, and I have 3 matted on my website that are again of different blooms under different light, different composition. Okay.
Good. Yeah, the orchid I removed because they were last year here in virtual show. And Susie had 3 other paintings too, so at the gallery. So when you check out the gallery, you can see them. Okay, so now that's it. Thank you so much, Susie. Thanks. And Judy, are you there?
Yes, I am. Hello, everyone.
Good.
I'm Judy Woznyi, and I met Heeyoung by fate, I think, in 2017, because I live in Cook County, but I received the Lake County Horizon periodical. And in the back, lo and behold, was Heeyoung's botanical art classes. And I thought, I have to do this. I always wanted to do this. So here I am. And thank goodness, Heeyoung, that you are a bit younger than me, because I still have a real lot to learn from you. Okay, so I guess I can just go through these real quick. This is, these are 2 clematises. And I was just thinking about this. This clematis and my robin's nest has something in common, because these clematises grow on a trellis right outside my kitchen window. And one year I did have a robin nest and the whole family there watching them. And it was, so they're connected.
There you go, the robin nest.
There's the robin's nest, yes.
Yeah, so we can go back because I wanted to show this beautiful robin's nest, and it's so amazing pencil drawing, and you can go back. And
that one's a viburnum from some viburnums I planted by my front. And it's Judd viburnum, and it has the most incredible fragrance in the spring. But this is colored pencil with light watercolor wash underneath. And yeah, I really enjoyed doing those. So I needed a break. I think I was working on the robin's nest at the time, and I needed a break. So
that is such a beautiful piece. Yeah.
And then I found the feathers. I didn't have a robin's feather, and I found a bunch on the ground where a robin had been attacked. So we not only preserve our drawings or our plants and things in our pictures, this way it was a way to preserve that poor robin.
Good. Thank you so much, Judy. And Judy is the last. And now here, if it's normal time, we might have gathered like this.
Oh.
And yeah, we miss that time because everybody kind of talk. We are running late a little bit. So this is it. And there are many classes coming up. If you want to join, go to the Heeyoungkim.net website, and then you will see them. Okay, so now I can stop sharing, or you can just talk, Julia.
Well, thank you all so much for sharing your work with us. In just a moment, we're going to stop the Facebook live stream, and then we'll have a little social time for anyone who wants to stay. But first, I'd like to say that though Heeyoung's classes are back online for the moment due to the pandemic, we were so happy to welcome back some of our botanical artists to weekly classes that met at Brushwood over the past few months. And so glad to welcome them back to the Brushwood Gallery for this annual show. We'd also like to welcome you all to join us at Brushwood too. The gallery and the art supply exchange are now open, limited regular hours, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Sundays. And in addition to our virtual programs, we have a few in-person events coming up, including what will be our first annual Mother Earth Art Market on Mother's Day weekend. And we hope you can join us.
Good.